This is your daily briefing brought to you by a human being who is not being held hostage and is not reading from a cue card. That wasn't a great experience for me either, and I apologise for inflicting that upon you. You got to try these things. I mean, you know, you live, you learn. Doesn't cost you much money. You know, we move on. Right, so we featured in Europe last night, and boy, that was a treat. I think I haven't singled him out to dig him out, but there was one character on here yesterday who not only got the TV channel wrong, but was telling me that he was looking forward to Dane Scarlett lifting this trophy. I think there are a lot of you on a really weird trajectory with this football club, let alone this particular competition. Scottish, I think of all the stuff that came out throughout this game and surrounded it, I think that the strangest, but perhaps the most intriguing, was the fact that Spurs' story for this game was that Scottish identical twins were on the bench. I'm sorry, but it's just like, how can we make this sort of shake and vac cup, this Papa John's tournament, how can we make it more ridiculous? Yeah, got the next proclaimers waiting to come on. Incredibly naive of Nuno to believe he get away with serving up leftovers last night. This is a problem that's been dogging Spurs since forever, and we had it with Pochettino, and Mourinho just nipped it in the bud. There's a problem here where it was all the talk and bluster surrounding the squad depth, and it's not there. There's no depth to the squad whatsoever, and the moment you start interfering with what is arguably your best 11, you start making mistakes and you start losing the ball too much, and then you have to bring on senior players to save the day, which was a pattern that we got into during the Europa League games, where Harry Kane was having to come on and aid the ball getting in the back of the net against some farmers or something. Sounds terribly derogatory, but this player shouldn't be involved with a football club at this level. Player notes, excuse me, because this is one of these games, almost like a pre-season friendly, that I don't think we learnt a hell of a lot, and we don't need to dig so deep. Romero was spot on, despite the quality of his teammates, and that's a problem that I highlighted, and I'm sure others did before today. Just 3 errant passes from him gave us a 95% passing accuracy, made 7 interceptions and lost possession just twice in his own half. Romero also won 75% of his defensive duels. That guy is a standout footballer, and we'll come back to that. Ben Davies manages to lose possession 13 times, and on 6 occasions this was in his own half, which makes last night's performance even worse than his involvement in the Dinamo Zagreb 3-0 loss back in March. Harry Winks, summed up in one word: ineffectual. Gave the ball away 12 times. Now, he was playing as a left centre midfielder and a left defensive midfielder, and he did manage to win 70% of his defensive duels. He attempted 3 sliding tackles, winning just 1, and you can see his involvement in the break that led to their goal, and that clip I put up for you a little bit earlier today. Excuse me. Jack Clarke and others did nothing colossally wrong, just didn't do anything of particular note. And that's the problem that Tottenham have. The academy, we're fed this myth that it's this conveyor belt churning out all these players that are going to be worth this, that and the other. Remember the NASDAQ thing with Levy. Oh, why buy players when you can make your own that are going to be worth 20, 30, 40 million? As yet, we've only seen hints of it from Tanganga, and then you've got Harry Winks and Harry Kane, and I still maintain that Kane came through despite Tottenham. Dane Scarlett, for a really objective perspective, which I hope I can bring to it, I don't think he did anything wrong. I just don't think he had any service. His passing accuracy was extremely good for such a forward-lying position, but he just had no support and consequently didn't get a single shot on target. Brian Heel, mixed bag, got a lot of basics right, but as an attacking threat, it simply didn't happen for him. 1 cross, no shots, but then, this is what I'm asking you, what do you expect from a 20-year-old who's yet to have a breakthrough season? Some of our fans have mindlessly overhyped our new signings, and that burden of responsibility they're not capable of paying back. Sessegnon, total successful actions was a woeful 49%, and this is a real bugbear of mine. Total successful actions is a really sweeping, broad brush view of how a player did. So 49% of the time he didn't screw up, which meant 51% of the time he did. So you give him the ball and it's toss a coin in the air time if he's going to pass to one of your players or one of theirs. That's a disastrous number. He also lost possession 14 times, and it was a hallmark of this particular team that they gave the ball away far too much. Conclusions. Heel is miles away, miles shy of being Premier League standard, and Gollini keeps letting the bloody ball in. He's played twice, conceded 3. Romero will be good when he's teamed up with adequately good colleagues. And what we're seeing here are levels of play that are commensurate with the monies that have gone out for these players. And this is the bombshell. This shouldn't shock you. If you spend 150 quid on a car, it probably won't get you to the end of the road you're in. That's the reality. But I still think there are going to be fans out there who are in a state of shock, are going to be making excuses, giving the competition silly names, but they get themselves sucked in time and time again. And that's how I feel that ENIC have been able to get away with this for so long. And it makes me wonder what percentage of people scammed by beloved in Christ emails are Tottenham fans. Lo Celso was notionally our man of the match, but it's this competition that is likely to continue to expose weaknesses rather than provide much joy. Nuno was right to rest his best 11, but by the same token, it only served to make the reality check all the more severe. The problem that Nuno has is that his squad is littered with players that aren't quite good enough yet, or ones that have stopped trying to give us their best. I saw an appalling picture of Davis and Doherty on one of those sort of little bus shelter type things that the coach is going. And Doherty was like, the body language was terrible. He looked like somebody who was literally waiting for a bus that, after several had been cancelled. He did not look like a man about to play in Europe for the club. Comments elsewhere. Fair amount of derision has come our way. Cundy, our old pal on TalkSport, on Pacos de Ferreira, Cundy said, and you wonder why Harry Kane wants to leave. He's sitting at home watching that tripe thinking, I might have to play in this competition. He's watching you play a perfume rolled up with a chocolate bar. I had to think about that twice as well. I think it's the Paco Rabanne thing and the Ferrero Rocher they're going with there. I might have to put a Spurs... Kane is thinking to himself, I might actually have to put a Spurs shirt on to represent the club and in this competition. Nuno was pretty tight-lipped or coy, whatever you want to phrase it, on Harry Kane. He said in his press conference he trained today, he trained with the group of players that stayed in England. He trained well and he's going to train tomorrow, and then we will return. He will join all the players and work as a group with Harry in it. Spanish outlet Atena 2 say, as things stand, Davinson Sanchez will remain at Tottenham. Certainly for this season. It was made known by the club itself to the player, indicating that, taken into account by the coach, apparently the Colombian player has got a vote of confidence from Nuno. And Fabrizio Romano comes in with the real news, opposed to all of the other outlets telling us we're close to this and we might put a bid in for that. Tottenham had contacts with Collieri for Nathan Nandez last week, but never made an official bid. Spurs are not willing to buy Nandez at current conditions. It doesn't go on to say what those current conditions are, but I would imagine it's to do with money. Spurs have no intention to progress talks for this player as of now, already looking at different targets. Right, that's it. I'm going to try and dig out some videos from last night. Our friends at Premier Sports have been very kind and haven't banged copyright notices over all their clips. So I'm going to go and see if there's anything worth poaching out of there and if there's anything worth kind of half celebrating. But I think it might be a bit of a fool's errand. Again, sorry about the teleprompter thing. It was an experiment. It's all gone away. Not going to happen again. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.